Welcome back to my channel. My name is Zuri. Thank you for tuning in and watching my video. So this is going to be a video on tips when you're traveling to Jamaica, because I watched a few videos before I went. Like, I watched videos, I read articles, I did research, to make sure that I was fully prepared for what I was going to experience. And I feel like while I was a little prepared, I could have been way more prepared, because I spent a lot of money that I was not expecting to spend. So needless to say, my budget was kind of, messed with. And not that I didn't have a good time, because I still had a great time, but I just want to drop this video to let y'all know, like, what's up and what you really should prepare for when you're traveling to Jamaica. And then specifically, this is for Negril, Jamaica, because that's where I went. I didn't go to Montego Bay. Only the plane flew into Montego Bay, so I'm not entirely sure like what you would need if you're staying at a resort or whatever, but I'm going to give you my rundown of my experience and why I am giving you these tips. So for my experience, I did fly into Montego Bay. I did stay in Negril because I didn't want to go somewhere that was super touristy like Montego Bay, even though I am still a tourist, and Negril is still, it can be touristy, but it's not Montego Bay. Like, it's not to that extent. And that's what I wanted to avoid, because I wanted this trip to be, I wanted it to be more of like a soul searching trip. Like, I wanted peace. I wanted more quiet than I did like the commotion of, all the stuff going on in Montego Bay, since it is busier. So I stayed in a grill and an Airbnb instead of at like a resort or something, because I wanted more of that natural experience. So this video is more for those of you who are not really staying at resorts. I know at resorts they have like all-inclusive things where you can like eat there and stuff like that. I don't have any experience or any knowledge dealing with that, because I have not done that. I stayed in an Airbnb that was hosted by someone from Jamaica. So really every experience that I got there was more of like a true Jamaican experience. So if you're interested in going to Negril, or you just want more, of an authentic experience there, then this video will be for you. So my first tip, and the main tip, the most important tip, if you don't remember anything else, is to bring cash. They do have ATMs, but that ATM fee gonna be a fucking doozy. Like, the cheapest ATM fee was like $6 and some change, and that was like their major bank they had down there. All the little other ATMs, like on the beach or say probably in a restaurant or something, like those are gonna be like $10, like to get cash out of those ATMs. So bring cash, because cash rules everything in Jamaica. They do take American and Jamaican dollars, so you can use both. But keep in mind, the currency conversion is like a little, it's cheaper in Jamaica. So like in Jamaica, if something costs like $1,500, that's gonna be probably like $12, like in American dollars. So it's traditionally like the way that I was thinking about it was, if I saw $1,500, I would think, okay, $15, and I would take off a few dollars, because that's typically how it worked. However, with that in mind, a lot of them expect you to tip. A lot of Jamaicans expect to tip. I'm not mad at them, honestly, because just being down there and experiencing it, tourism is a lot of their income. Like, tourism is what puts food on the table for a lot of them. And the cash tips, like, we all know that cash tips are a lot better than like, just getting a regular check. Mainly because in most places your cash tip goes straight to you, unless you're like in a pool or, some other weird thing that your job does with your tips, but traditionally you get your tips, those are your tips. So be prepared to tip, but also like just be humble about it, and just know that like you're probably putting food on their table, and that is something that you should feel good about. They deserve their tips. A lot of them gave you a lot of knowledge on the tours they give you. Like, our driver was fucking amazing. Like, he was above and beyond amazing. Like, every time we needed him, he was there, and he was there early, like he was helping us with stuff. He would give us so much knowledge on things. Like, he was a great driver. But that leads me to my next tip, is to budget for transportation. We didn't know that we were going to be spending so much money on transportation. Literally, my trip from the airport to the Airbnb was $90. And that was one way, so I had to pay $90 again on the way back. But then also just getting around what everyone is doing. I went to the Blue Hole. I went to 7 Mile Beach a few times. What else did I do? I can't think, I don't know. We went to a few other restaurants, so we had different drivers, because like a regular taxi driver is going to be a little cheaper than if you're hitting up somebody who does tours. So like the guy who drove us around, for the most part, he did actual tours. His Tour name is Regal Tropics, Tropix Tours. I highly recommend him because honestly, we paid him a pretty penny. We probably paid almost like $500, but honestly, it was worth it. Like he was amazing. I don't even have the words to say because he was just great. He made our trip super easy. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just great. But with that being said, we also tried to do things that we didn't have to, use a driver. So we did walk to a few restaurants, of course, in the daytime. When we were walking back at night, men are men, and a lot of men are protective of women, So a taxi driver saw us walking back, and he's like, I'll give you a ride. I don't care how much you pay me. Just give me some money and I'll take you back, because I don't want you walking like, in the dark. So that was really sweet. So we only paid him like $10, but literally Rick's Cafe was like 5 minutes down the road from our Airbnb, but we had to pay $20 there and 20 back because that's what the man charged, 10 per person. I'm like, imagine taking a group of like 7 people, you know what I'm saying? You just make $70 for driving 5 minutes up the road. Like, I'm telling you, they be taxing when it comes to like rides. But like I said, using them for rides, like you're probably like doing a lot for them. So I don't know, that kind of just balanced out how I felt about giving them like a lot of money, because I did give them, I definitely overspent on my budget. That wasn't something that I intended to do because I wasn't trying to make this some super like expensive trip. Like I'm saying, like my Airbnb was very humble. Like I had a great view, and that was the main thing that I cared about, was the fact that the Airbnb was right by the ocean. That was the main thing. I could have stayed in the fucking tent, for all I fucking cared. But it just so happened I stayed at a great Airbnb. They had a bar there so we could eat there. We had, drinks, and, it was a really great time. It was a really great experience. I will remember it for the rest of my life. I promise I will. Like, I don't know. It was just it touched me a lot. So far, first 2 tips are bringing cash and budget for transportation. Sorry, I have notes over here because I did write these down because I have ADHD. Mine will go scatterbrain. My dog is being very needy right now. She's right in front of my face. Every time I talk, it's like she has to be near me. I don't know. She has like weird separation anxiety. But yeah, so some spots are walking distance, that will be beneficial. Renting a car, it might be cheaper in the long run, depending on how long you're staying. But keep in mind, they do drive on the opposite side of the road, and their steering wheels are on the opposite side. So America is just weird, you know what I'm saying? We're the only ones who drive the way we do. Everywhere else seems to know that like you should be on the other side. I don't know. We're fucking weird. I'm not surprised. But just be mindful that if you're watching this and you're from America, that everything's opposite, and they do drive crazy down there. Look, I thought we drove crazy up here. They be wildin'. In Jamaica, okay? They drive. I was scared. I would just say that. I was scared. Okay, next tip, money exchange, We all want to bring home like, dollars and currency from the places we visit. So I actually did bring home a few Jamaican dollars, but I did not exchange at the airport. Do not exchange your money at the airport. This was a tip that I picked up before I went. I watched, videos and read articles and stuff. So I knew not to do that. But even like as I was walking through, I almost had the thought to, and I stopped like I was about to, but then I was like, nah, I remember the video. They said not to do it, and that's because they're going to charge you for it. They're going to charge you way more money to do that, when instead you can like go to like a local spot or something, because like I said, pretty much everywhere, unless you go into like a local street vendor, they may or may not just ask. Most of them do because they know that it's a lot of tourists out. But just ask for your change back in Jamaican dollars. Like, if you don't mind sparing your change in Jamaican dollars that you can bring back home, then I would say go ahead and ask for your change in Jamaican dollars. So specifically for me, I went to Hammond's bakery and got some beef patties, and they was fire. But I did get my change back in Jamaican dollars. So I did have a few bucks in Jamaican dollars to bring back home. So that's my recommendation. Or use the ATM and get Jamaican dollars back if you want Jamaican dollars like that. Or if you want to pay with Jamaican dollars and you want your cash in that way, you can do that too. Like I said, you can also use American dollars. They will do either or. Okay, number 4. So we all know Jamaica is a really big country where Marijuana is very popular. Literally, I got free marijuana from multiple people. So with that being said, a little bit of money goes a long way when it comes to marijuana in Jamaica. I know up here they be taxing, they be charging, but I literally got like a half for like 60 bucks. That would be like a quad back here. So be mindful that in Jamaica, you don't need to spend that much money, especially if it's not a big group of y'all and you're not going to go through it before you leave. You don't want to waste your money. I kind of feel like I wasted my money because I bought like a half, but I literally didn't smoke it the whole time because there was someone who sold me 3 really fat joints for $10, and I got free marijuana from 2 other people. I pretty much smoked that and I didn't even finish that, you know what I'm saying? So my whole half pretty much didn't even get touched. I smoked a little bit of it, but not a lot. So I feel like I wasted my money in that way, but I'm still happy to have like, you know, seen it because it was a lot more moist than it is up here. What I had bought, it was like still on the stalk. It was like a long stem. I'll try to put a picture somewhere in here. I'll edit. I'm gonna put a picture so you can see, or a video. I think I recorded a video or a picture, one of those two. But yeah, so it was cool to like see it, but like I could have kept my little 60 bucks, you know, because like I said, cash rules everything. And having that gone, I did have to go to the ATM to get more cash out because I was not anticipating like paying all that for rides everywhere, you know. But yeah, I wasn't really tripping about tipping. Like I said, it felt good for me to tip them because I knew I was really helping them. You know, some of them will ask for their tip. They gonna ask you for that tip. But some people are very humble and, you know, just give it to them, or they might try to sell you something. So that's my next tip. Look, like I said, tourism is probably the #1 way they keep food on their table. And I totally get it. But at the same time, they will hustle you. You will get hustled. You're going to get hustled at least once. If it's your first time, you're going to get hustled at least once. After that, you're going to know how to say no, okay? If you don't know how to say no now, if you're a people pleaser, go to Jamaica, because no more. Baby, no more. No more of that, because they going to hustle the fuck out of you. I tell you, we was on the beach. We were on the beach 5 minutes. They was in our face. So we looking at somebody's stuff or whatever. It's a woman at another shop. She's standing right behind us. She's like, well, yeah, when you done here, you can come to look at my stuff. And she stood there until we were done. They was looking at my money in my bag. So I had to like lift my bag up so they couldn't see my money. And then I told him like, I don't have that much money left. Like, I'm here on a budget. He was like, no, look at your outfit. Yes, you do. I said, let me find out that you know about somebody that I got that I don't. Because what the fuck? Like literally it borderline pissed me off a little bit. I went to look at all their stuff. I bought a few things because like literally the pressure was insane. They are in your ear. No, look at this, look at this, look at this for you. I give it for you a discount. You can do a deal. I'll give you this. Come look at my shop. Come look at my stuff. Like they don't let up. And like I get it. Like I respect it because you got to eat. You got to buy clothes. You got to, you know, get gas. Like you got to buy more product that you can sell. You got to make stuff. Like I get it. I really do. I really do. But I'm going to look anyway, you know, because I'm a tourist. Like I'm going to look. Like it's natural. We're going to buy stuff. We want souvenirs. Like we're going to look. You don't got to be in my face for me to come look at your shit. And as a matter of fact, I'm not going to want to look at it even more because you're in my face. That was like my only thing that was the one thing that bugs me. Like it was so bad that we was on the beach and I was chilling in my little beach chair. I put my hat over my face so that they wouldn't talk to me, because if they see you sitting there, they're gonna walk up to you. Like it was a little overwhelming. So like I said, hide your money and just know how to say no. Like stand firmly on your no, especially if you don't got it. Like I said, support, because like I said, we're tourists. Like we're gonna do that anyway. Like that's literally like probably should be in the definition of a tourist. Like we're gonna buy shit in your country. Of course we are, but like you don't gotta be breathing down my neck for me to come to your shop. Like that's just gonna make me mad, and it did. So all right, so earlier in the video I mentioned like staying in a resort versus an Airbnb. So like I said, I did stay in an Airbnb. I did not stay in a resort. I feel like staying in an Airbnb, you're probably going to get more of an authentic experience being in Jamaica, because you're going to have to rely more on, you know, calling taxis yourself. I'm sure your Airbnb is going to like leave taxi people you can call, food that's nearby, you know, things like that. But just being in that kind of environment, you're not relying on your resort, you know, hotel staff. You're not relying on relying on the resort food. You're not relying on, like, you know, the beach that the resort offers to you. You can go explore the rest of the beach, or, you know, try other restaurants that's not the resort restaurant. You can try authentic Jamaican cuisine. Cause I think I watched a few videos, and people say that, like, resorts or whatever, and their food was at the resort, but they would have like taco night or like Chinese food. Bitch, I'm in Jamaica. I don't want that shit. Like, don't get me wrong, it's good, but I'm in Jamaica. Like, I'm here for a reason. I didn't come, if I wanted Chinese food, I wouldn't have went to Asia. You know what I'm saying? Like, I came to Jamaica, so that's what I'm here for. Like, you know, I didn't want, like, my full experience robbed. So, like, I wanted to try the actual Jamaican food and, like, meet Jamaican people, you know, and explore different places of Jamaica without, like, being restricted to what my resort had to offer me. You know, that makes sense. So with the Airbnb, I think you get more freedom. However, with the resort, I feel like you get more security in a sense, you know, that you're, I don't know. I recommend Airbnb. That's all I'm gonna say. Traveling at night. So like I said, we were walking back from somewhere at night. That's because the restaurant was close to our place. But we was just really tripping on, like, having to pay so much money to get back. So we was gonna walk, and we was, like, prepared to, like, fight if we had to. But like I said, someone picked us up. But I just recommend not walking at night, you know. But that's just, like, common sense for, like, anywhere, especially if you somewhere where people are gonna hustle or gonna mug or whatever, you know. And I don't know Jamaica's, like, crime rate. I didn't look up their crime rate or crimes. There's crime everywhere, you know. But I just know it's common sense, like, just don't walk at night. So I'm just telling y'all, like, don't walk at night, you know. Like, get a ride back. Don't follow our example, even though we did end up, you know, catching a cab. But it's just because, just be more prepared than we are, you know. Be prepared to pay extra money to get from place to place, because a lot of cab drivers are going to charge you $10 per person for you to get where you're trying to get. So just be prepared to spend at least like $20 each ride, depending on where you're going. The further you go, the more it's going to cost. So some things we didn't do, like go to a waterfall or something, because the waterfall is like an hour and a half away, and they were going to charge like another $90, and we already had like other shit planned. So it was like a whole thing that we had to navigate while we were there. But we still did have a good time. So that's like my number one tip. If you don't remember nothing else besides like bring cash, just be prepared to pay for transportation. Like, please budget for it. Please, 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 please budget for transportation. All right, so another tip is, like, when you go to Jamaica versus, like, so the dry months versus the rainy months. So the rainy months are going to be like your summer, fall months. So I think it's like from July to like October. June or July is like October, and that's when it's going to be like your roughest months. Like, you're more likely to have like hurricanes. I don't even know if Jamaica gets hurricanes, but I know when I went to school in New Orleans, that was the rainy season there as well. We got a lot of hurricanes during that time, during that season. It's because the water's the warmest during that time, so there's more activity, there's more going on. So Jamaica's rainy season is those days, and during the rainy season, it's probably going to rain every single day. If you hear breathing, I'm sorry, my boyfriend is doing a meditation, so I allow him to do his thing, and you'll be fine, because I'm sure you can still hear me. If you can even hear, he's breathing. So yeah, so you want to go to it during a dry month. So your dry month is going to be like your winter, springtime. So I went during February. That's when my birthday is. But that's also a dry month because there's it's cooler. That's their winter. That's what they said. It's their winter. But it was hot as fuck. Coming from up here, from the fucking Midwest, bitch, from 30-degree weather to like 82. Yeah, it's hot. But for them, that's their winter. Apparently in the summer, it gets to like 90s for them, probably like low-key hundreds, because they have so much water around them. So it's probably really humid too in the air. So I can only imagine what the summer months are like. But if you can, try to plan for a dry season, because it's still hot. You can still swim, still get to the beach, still do everything you would do, you know, normally. It's just not going to rain as much. You know, it might rain once or twice, but like it doesn't stay rainy at all. Like, it rained the very first day we got there. And after that, I think it would rain at night, because we would wake up and our patio would be wet. But we never saw it like rain actually. So we don't even know if it actually rained or if it was like condensation, or, you know, we don't know what was going on. But if you go during a dry season, you don't have to worry about rain. Lastly, my last tip is to purchase water shoes. So I actually purchased water shoes. They're called water socks. They were on Amazon. I would try to link the ones I got. They were like $10. They were really cute, but they just make it so that when you're walking around, it's just easier to walk, especially somewhere like the Blue Hole, because the Blue Hole is like a cave type of ordeal. So you're walking on the ground, you know, and could hurt your feet. So water shoes are good for that. If you're going to go to like a waterfall, the water shoes are really good for like scaling the waterfall or just being in the water and allowing your feet to actually grip the ground a lot better than if you were barefoot. So like that's like my last recommendation. Of course, the usual, like bring bug spray, bring ponchos, like, you know, stuff like that. But really, if you don't remember nothing I said, it's the cash thing and it's the transportation thing. Those are the main two things. But outside of that, you should have like an amazing trip. Like the people are great. If you eat the authentic food, like it's really good. If you want to know the spots to eat at, watch my TikTok. I did post a TikTok about what I ate in Jamaica, and I also posted a vlog when I went to Jamaica, so you can see some of the spots I ate at, some of the food I had. It was really good. Like a lot of their food was super fresh. Like it tasted fresh. It tastes like they dug it up in the backyard. In the restaurant, that my favorite one, Just Natural, they actually do grow their stuff. Like their restaurant is literally a garden. You walk through a garden to find your table. Like it's the cutest thing ever. They have a chicken coop back there. I saw the roosters. Like it was really a beautiful experience, and I can't wait to go back. I want to give back more though. Like when I go back, and just anywhere I go, I want to start giving back to the places that I go, because I don't want to just go and just take from them and not, you know, leave them with anything. And that's why I didn't feel bad tipping them, for real, because I mean, I'm in your country, you know what I'm saying? Like you doing me a service. And not that your life depends on tourism, but a lot of it does. And I was talking to my driver, that's what he was saying too. He was like, if you don't go into tourism, like it's really hard to make money down here. And he had said he'd been to the States. He'd been in New York like once or twice, I think he said. And he said he liked America better because it's like first world, when we're going to Jamaica, you know what I'm saying, to vacation. So like, it's just so interesting seeing the two different perspectives, you know, because it's kind of like the grass is greener situation in both of us. You know, we always yearn for the other side. But yeah. So if you feel it on your heart, I really hope you do. But if you go, just give back. You know what I'm saying? Leave a little bit of an extra big tip or something. You know, like don't just go to the super touristy places or whatever. Like actually help them out, you know, because some of them are really kind and they really will go out of their way to make you feel super special. Like my Airbnb host did, the ladies at Just Natural did, my driver did. Like everything about my trip was just wonderful, and I love them 10 times over. I really appreciate it. So yeah, that's the end of my video. Those are all the tips I have right now for traveling to Jamaica until my next trip, because I'm definitely going back and I'm definitely gonna stay at the same Airbnb, period. But yeah, so thank you for watching if you made it this far. If you have any questions, I will try my best to answer them. You can leave them in the comments below. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. And until next time, peace.
Big wheels keep rolling, rolling. I'm outside. 29, G5, seaside. I've been losing friends and finding peace. But honestly, that sound like a fair trade to me. If I ever heard one, and I'm still here outside. Front line, south side. I've been losing friends and finding peace. Honestly, that sound like a fair trade to me. Look, don't invite me over if you go another pretty party. Looking back, it's hard to tell you where I started.